tonight's fair topic I had are there differences in the ways that men and women think. My hypothesis is that I think that men will try to solve problems on their own and prove their answers, and women will solve problems with the help of other people and try to make the peace. The materials you need for this experiment are at least 5 people from each gender, 5 interview questions, a piece of paper, and a pencil. The procedure is ask each test subject the questions, and then as you're doing so, record the results. The 5 questions I asked are: question number 1, if someone died, how would you tell their family? As you can see here, 3/4 of the majority of women would comfort them, and 1/4 would just say the words and not talk that much. And in here, men, tiny bit more comforting by 2.8 difference. So, not that big a difference. Let's move on to question 2. If you had a decision to make where your head wants you to do one thing and your feelings want you to do another, would you do what your head wants you to do, or do what your feelings want to do? Here you can see 2/3 of women would do what their feelings want to do, and only 1/3 would do what their head wants to do. Here you can see it's tied between head and feelings for men, and 42.9% for each, and then 14.3% would give the problem to someone else. But much bigger difference in question number 1, not that big a difference. Let's move on to question 3. If you were to problem solve, how would you solve it? 2/3 of women would solve it on their own, and 1/3 would talk with friends and try to solve it together. Here you can see that men, about 3/4 would solve it on their own, and about 1/4 would talk with friends and try to solve it together. Again, not that big a difference. So far, question 2 has the biggest difference. The only difference here is that men solve problems on their own a tiny bit more than women. Now let's move on to question number 4. How do you make friends? By doing activities or by talking? Here you can see it's equal, 50-50, by doing activities and by talking. Here you can see men have 7.1 more by talking than by doing activities. So, then again, not that big a difference. So far, question number 2 has the biggest difference. On to question number 5. If someone had an argument or threatened you, how do you handle it? Try to make the peace, keep fighting and try to win, or run away? Here you can see only 1/12 of women would keep fighting and try to win it and prove their point, and 1/12 would try to run away, and 5/6 would try to make the peace. So here you can see that women like to see other people's points much more than they like to prove their own. Here you can see 57.1% of men would try to make the peace, and 42.9% would keep fighting and try to win. Here you can see there's a big difference. Men try to keep the peace, keep fighting and try to win, and prove their point much more than women. There's a 42.9 for men and 8.3% for women. So, all in all, I have concluded that women are a little more comforting than men. And according to my survey, both genders like to solve problems on their own. Women make friends by talking, and men make friends by doing activities. I think that that my experiment would have changed if I hadn't done the experiment over Facebook, because Facebook is more verbal than by doing activities. So I think that that's the reason why. It's by talking on question number 4. And I also concluded that women like to make the peace and see other people's points, while men try to prove their point. I think, again, that Facebook is more verbal, because here you can see that men try to make the peace 7.1% more than keep fighting and try to win. So I think that Facebook is more verbal in that section. So next time I think I would ask more questions so I could put the differences in much more description and detail, and I think I would ask more test subjects so I can get the main majority of the population to factor. The end.